Alright, what's up guys? It's the night of Passover, and I want to share with you guys some thoughts I've been having recently, and particularly some stuff that hit me last night um, on the eve of, I was thinking that, um, yeah, I thought it was kind of funny that this is the first Passover I celebrated with my family before, and we're in Little Egypt. I just thought that was kind of funny, and we were watching Ten Commandments and whatnot with Moses leading the people out of Egypt, and we were reading that part in Exodus. But the funny thing that I kind of had a thought of was this is, and forgive me for being slow to pick up on this, you guys, but hey, I was born into like family that was Catholic, and kind of Catholicism is pretty brainwashed when it comes to the real truth and what's actually written in the Bible. Um, with all the holidays, especially in Easter and Christmas and all that, and if you keep up to date with some of the stuff I posted it before, or you probably know because I talked about it a little bit, especially around Christmas time, and you know it's all astrological for sure. Is one thing I realized um, about the holy days in the Bible, the 7 appointed feast days. And I pointed this out last year to someone that I know in the family. And I was talking about the Feast of Trumpets and how Yom Kippur and the Feast of Trumpets is in Libra, and it's like judgment. It's like the blowing of trumpets is going to wake up the dead and everybody will be judged. Um, so judgment, and then you have the scales in Libra where, you know, your heart is weighed against the feather and stuff. But Passover, man, it's like Moses was blowing the ram's horn, he sacrificed the lamb, and matter of fact, dude, I swear I hear somebody like shooting some cows out here. Right before I started this video, I saw somebody doing their Passover sacrifice right now on the full moon, right? The first full moon of the year, they sacrifice innocent baby lamb. Honestly, I feel like Jesus came to get rid of all that shit, but it's that tradition. Um, but anyway, I was like getting at that, but yeah, it's the lamb. Lamb is Aries, the ram, the baby ram, and Moses blows the ram's horn too, and they blow the ram's horn as the Exodus out of Egypt. So yeah, I mean, y'all might really think I'm slow to catch on this, but I mean, look at the 7 appointed feast days. I guarantee you, they line up with the astrology. And I don't know about the other ones though. I'd have to look into that. And what's after Passover? The 7 days of unleavened bread. It's always 7. And the seventh day you're supposed to keep as a Sabbath and whatnot. All that kind of stuff just gets swept under the rug by most Christians because they're brainwashed by the church and whatnot. You think about it. But, the real brainwash thing, I really feel like, is the astrology thing. People will try to rip your head off over it. And I've gotten into way too many arguments about it. And, pride is the devil, man. You can't let that I have a problem with that myself. I'll admit, because I get into too many arguments about that. And honestly, it's just not worth it, you guys. It's not worth getting into an argument over something that's obviously astrological. You know what I'm saying? Just state it, point it out to them. If they give you shit about it again, all you gotta do is say what's there, and then just leave it at that. That's like a little word of advice, but think about this. I'm thinking about this solar eclipse again last night, and something really popped up in my head, right? Was that it happened on like the first day of the year, which the first day of the year is like the new moon in Aries, and then Passover is the full moon, and you really start to think about it. So it's the acceptable year of the Lord. That's what Jesus preaches. I don't understand that. It's not the calendars. It's not the fucking sidereal astrology. It's, yeah, Well, maybe I'm a little bit off on that because uh, in sidereal astrology, I think it would be um, Aries still on Passover this year because I think the the new moons are kind of weird this year. I don't know if anybody else noticed how they're like at the end of the tropical zodiac season, but nonetheless, the new moon in Aries is what started the new year. So I don't know. You tell me. That's something I've been pondering. But the solar eclipse that happened, and we know that new moons and stuff like that usually they come to. You can start seeing a lot of effects and to fruition around when it gets full. Look, man, they're trying to make lines in front of the moon. Maybe they see me filming. These assholes out here. Don't look at the full moon, guys. It'll give you superpowers. I'm just playing. But this solar eclipse, right? Going over Little Egypt, the X is right over Little Egypt. What I was thinking is 2 weeks from that is Passover, right? So we see all the stuff, especially if you have been following up on some of the stuff that. Oh, look, there goes another one. Sorry. If you've been following up on the stuff that Santos has been posting recently about like the holy war stuff going on over in Israel and Jerusalem and whatnot. I mean, like, you don't even have to follow Santos to know about that stuff, but it's related astrologically, I think, definitely to the eclipse. But the funny thing is that the whole thing about Passover is like, and they're sitting there in Egypt, and the death angel comes down upon Egypt, and a plague hits Egypt, and but death passes over the house because they're observing the Passover and putting the lamb's blood over the door. So, what do you guys think about the possibility that maybe there might be some kind of like, so there's this in the story in Nineveh or whatever with with damn, I'm sorry you guys. Um, is it Jacob? I'm sorry, I'm pulling a blank right now. But you know the guy that got Jacob, yeah, Jonah. I'm sorry. Forgive me for that one. But Jonah and Nineveh and the eclipse, right? And that stuff that I was talking about in the last video I put out. If you're following up that stuff or what I post on my Telegram, is there was first there was eclipse, then there was a plague, and then I think a famine. There was like three things that happened in Nineveh um, when Jonah was sent to go preach there or whatever. And then you have this eclipse passing over all those towns named Nineveh and whatnot. What if that we see like some kind of plague or something come to Little Egypt on the Passover or the day after the Passover? And this is where I really need you guys, if you're watching this video, to fill me in on the blanks and join my Telegram and leave some feedback or something. Um, or if you just want to talk about this stuff or whatever, or you're interested, or fill me out on what you guys see in the news for sure. That's where I definitely need some people, because I like I'm not even posting this video tonight. I'm probably gonna do it tomorrow in the morning if I'm permitted to. Like I'm kind of in a situation where I don't have access to the internet right now, so I'm relying on other people and stuff like that. That's why my uploads are so slow, you guys. So in case you're wondering, I've kind of explained it, but I kind of don't. But anyway, I'm gonna keep a lookout. I'm gonna try to check the news when I can get a look or a peek at it, and I'm gonna see if anything happened today on Passover here in the area of Little Egypt. Perhaps, like maybe some shit will pop off like in Makanda, Illinois, where the X was, and they'll say it's a new strain of COVID or something. I'm just speculating. I'm just, you know, you get what I'm trying to say. I'm just bullshitting, trying to put some pieces together in my head, but that's what hit me last night when I was thinking about this. And anyway, it's just kind of short video, and I thought it was like pretty ironic that the first Passover I've ever observed with my family, I'm living in Little Egypt. So I feel like I'm connected to this definitely somehow. And like I mentioned in my last video, how I was getting all these like videos that I just randomly decided to watch when I first moved here about traditional Native American teachings of eclipses and like don't go outside, and they think that something swallows the sun and the moon, and Jonah and Nineveh gets swallowed by the whale for 3 days. Hey, you know what I mean? So I feel like there's something to it, and not to mention I was reading about Little Egypt and the library's local history before I even knew any of this stuff was like happening, popping off. And I listened to the Crow 777 podcast where they did an episode on this, and it blew my mind. I was like, whoa, yeah. So and I started putting a bunch of pieces together and doing some research. And hang in there soon, because I'm going to be doing a part 2 on Little Egypt's history soon. Probably unrelated to anything astrological, though. Although it may be related, you never know. Because as above, so below. Right? Even rhymed. So anyway, peace, y'all. Much love. Get spiritual and sustainable. This is Smoking Syncretism. Y'all have a nice day or night. God bless you.